mean, like I'm bad and I know it, but like that's like I think one of the main
Why do you
things in
say
my opinion.
that?
I mean, we'll find out, but
I mean, no. You can't run away from me that easily. Like, what makes you say that what makes you say you're bad? For realsies.
I'm just like new and like oh
How
I
new?
don't know. Like 5 months started in October.
Okay, goddamn. So like, you're new. Okay.
Yeah, I've
So
watched for like 10 years, but just started playing.
oh, that's fantastic. Well, welcome to the game. I'm glad. Like, it's got to be exciting. I imagine it has to be exciting to be taking your first steps into this very difficult to play game. Um, I'm here to like, and my job is to help you. So, but the one thing I will not tolerate, like in a coaching session, certainly, is if we're being mean to ourselves. Like this game is a
Okay.
very difficult undertaking as it is. We don't need to make it even. We don't need to make it harder on ourselves. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna pass it to you. What are you hoping to get out of this first session together? What goals do you have that like what more concrete or short term goals would you say you have that you think that would be productive for us to work on together?
Um, yeah, I think like maybe like overall just sort of like create some sort of like direction of things to work on
Fantastic.
through like through VOD review. And like I have a VOD ready and I think like
Yep.
among a lot of things I have to work on, like if I'm playing like somebody that I can tell is just like significantly better than me, I get just like whiff punished pretty much the whole time in neutral. Um
Okay.
yeah.
So we'll want to investigate into that for sure. With that, I'm just gonna make a note of that. So with punish so priorities, and then I'll make a note with punishing. So you said you have a VOD. What is? Can you send me the VOD and we'll take a look at it?
Yeah, let me
Are these
grab
like
the link.
Twitch matches? Are they like SLPs? YouTube?
I have a YouTube. I figured that would be easiest. What do you prefer?
Oh, YouTube and SLP are preferred by far. I hate working with Twitch because there's no frame advance. So, yep, nope.
Yeah.
If you have it on YouTube, that is phenomenal.
Okay. I like YouTube because you can frame like advance backwards.
Yep,
But yeah, I have a link here. Just sent
excellent.
it.
Fantastic. And which one are you? Are you the
Marth.
You're the Marth. Okay, phenomenal. So let's see here. Let me share my screen real quick, and you can see that, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So let's dive in. While we're taking a look at this, I just want to confirm. So what are like in this matchup? What would you say are like kind of like the what's your game plan going into this game?
Uh, I don't like look for grabs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
feel like you can Pokemon Stadium's not too bad. You can get them in the center and try to get some chain grabs.
Yep. Cool. So I see that we've got some nair. So we've got the like you clearly know what moves are good on your character. I'm seeing fairs, I'm seeing nairs, I'm seeing down tilts, I'm seeing grabs. Like these are Marth's best moves in my opinion. Like the only one that's missing to me is like up air because I think I've seen up tilt too. So like you clearly know what's good with this character. Um, yeah. So I guess the next question would be is what are how on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you like? No, actually, no. 1 to 10 is not a really good thing. How comfortable are you comboing Fox?
um, I don't know. Maybe like a 3 out of 10.
Okay. How do we get that up to a 7 out of 10? Like, what things go wrong when you're comboing him?
Uh, I can't really like follow up techs, whether like on the ground or on a platform. I kind
Okay.
of just kind of pick an option that will cover like 2 out of 4.
Gotcha. So tech chasing. So tech chasing is like a big thing that we want to
Yeah,
see improved. Okay. No, that makes
like
sense.
I have sort of a question about tech chasing because like I see it like at the top level, like Zane.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like, I don't know if it's something that's so hard that it's not really worth investing as like at the at like my skill level, or if it is just like just go for it and then it will pay off when I eventually do learn it, whether it takes whatever months.
So tech chasing to me is like difficult. It's difficult, but not impossible. It's hard more because the execution, like the timing requirements of it, are strict. But like they are straightforward. So if you know how the techs look, like if you're familiar with how the techs look, and you have a good setup that gives you the position you need to like do the things that you're trying to do, then I don't actually think it's all that hard. But like nailing the execution needed to like set up the rhythm for a good tech chase is the hard part here. Let me actually like pop out of here. Let me pop out of here and go to YouTube real quick. I want to show you something because I think this will kind of shed some light on this. We're gonna look at Wizrobe versus like Fox Falcon for 1 second because
Yeah,
I think that this will kind of like illuminate a little bit of this somewhat. So let's look at Wizrobe versus this poor Fox player. So I want you to pay attention to when he gets the grab. I want you to pay it. Actually, we'll go like to an earlier point in the match. So, what do you notice about what he just did?
Could you replay it, please?
Yeah, of course. So when he gets his grab, I want you to tell me what he's doing.
Wave dash forward.
Right. And you'll notice he did it again, right? Like on the second grab, like this one, he like when he gets his first grab, he does like this a very specific, and we'll slow this down to 25%. He does a very specific dash wave dash setup that stops him here. Why do you think he's gone to that location?
So he can like chase. He's in a spot where he can chase tech away or tech towards, or like cover any tech option.
Right, because does he have to move to hit? Does he have to move to hit the tech in place?
No.
Does he have to move to hit the no tech?
No.
Right. So the two options that demand the fastest response from us, they are covered by the fact that we're close enough. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So that probably makes it because every time we jump cancel grab, we're adding whatever like our jump cancel timing is, like at least 1 frame, possibly more, like could be 2, 3, 4, depending on the character. For Marth, I think maximum of 3. But it's still time that we're adding to our startup of our grab, right? So we're making the tech chase harder. So if we are dashing into this position, we're actually making life more challenging for ourselves. Do you see what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
Right. Because, like, it's only like, we're only talking like a frame or two, but in the context of a tech chase, which is completing in 26 frames, like, it's a very strict, like, potentially, like, that's a very strict timing. That's, like, that is adding to our workload. So then what Wizrobe does on the next one, what I want to point out here is, like, if the opponent stopped moving, like, teched in place, they would be right here right now. So he's effectively moving into the same position again. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So then, like that, because this is a longer animation, like tech rolls take 40 frames, so there's another 14 frames tacked onto them compared to a tech in place or a tech stand. Wizrobe doesn't need, like, Wizrobe has invested his movement to like basically cover the fastest options with the highest priority by stopping right there in front of them. And then if they go to one of these other ones, then he can like react and like he can easily adjust and then grab and then advance and grab like he does here. So what I would say here is this is the challenge of tech chasing. Most players are not this clean at this kind of setup. And I'm not saying you have to be this clean at your level or any level really. Like players like Plup and Mango are not nearly as precise as this, but they still hit a lot of their RTCs. Not as much as Zane or Wizrobe, mind you, but like they still hit a lot of them. So it's not like a requirement that you have to be as perfect as Zane or Wizrobe. But, like this is kind of what I'm getting at. Like we want to make sure that this part of it is as automatic as possible if you want to be hitting those kinds of tech chases. Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
Gotcha. So what I would say here is, if to kind of bring it back to something actionable that you can work on, is I would want to figure out how you're going to set yourself up for that situation, i.e., how am I going to move into position there? So a lot of times it's like dashing and then wave dashing. Like we can take a look at how a Marth player does it, but I would say that being comfortable and efficient at your wave dash to move into position for your tech chase, that should be a very high priority, because as soon as that becomes automatic, you're no longer burning frames on your setup and you're no longer burning extra frames on your grab. And that's really valuable. That will make you more consistent without requiring anything of you in terms of better reaction time.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, like the execution side of it rather than like the reaction side of it.
Well, yeah, because if you're like, the thing about tech chasing is that like it's really more of it's kind of a rhythm to. There's like a very big rhythm component to it, because on a tech, the first 20 frames of a tech, whether it's a roll or a stand, are invincible. So it doesn't matter if your reaction is good, if your timing is it doesn't matter if your reaction is good if your timing is such that you're overlapping with the invincibility frames, or acting too late for it to connect because like the tech stand already completed, for example.
Right.
So like because the rhythm component or the execution side of it is pass fail, I feel like that's the more useful one to focus on first.
Okay.
Yeah. So from here, there's a few things that stand out. Let's look at this stock here. So, I like what I'm seeing here. I'm not liking what I'm seeing here now. So, let's talk about move selection. What are Marth's best combo moves in this middle game percentage? What would you say they are? Like what moves give you the most bang for your buck?
Like we grab count.
Yeah, grab absolutely counts. That would be one of them. There's another one I'm looking for.
Up tilt.
Yeah, it's hard to hit, but like, yeah, I could believe it. I'm not sure I'd put it in top 3 though. There's one big one that I feel like that we're missing. Forward air.
Okay, yeah.
Like tipped fair. No, tipped fair. Tipped fair does so much damage at this point.
Right.
And then then the power hit, I would say that makes sense, is the one that you just did, which is F smash.
Right. Okay.
Now, this isn't always the case. Like right now, I don't think fair makes sense right now because he's too low. Now I think that you could do fair again because he's at like 20 in the 20s, but like, you know, from 20 and below, I think that down tilt, nair, and grab, I think those make a lot of sense as things to focus on.
Okay.
But then I think that like above that, I think that nair, I think that like a lot of times fair becomes more effective than nair because, while nair is good, fair, I feel like fair, like late fair, like some kind of fair would be way harder for him to punish than this nair. Do you see what I mean? Like you're just kind of like hanging in the air for a while. You don't have a hitbox coming out like this entire time. And because of that, he's just kind of able to come in on you. Do you see what I mean now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, how comfortable are you at doing wave dashes?
Like, they seem fine when I'm like solo practicing, but I just kind of mess them up a bit in game.
Okay. What happens in game?
Usually,
do you squeeze the controller, or do your hands go limp? Like, what are like the physical reactions that happen?
I play a box, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'm just like rushing. Like, I've even been working on a wave dash down tilt because I find that's where I mess up wave dashes.
Yeah, I saw those. I think I see those like on your last stock. I remember seeing some of those on one of your stocks. Like, yeah, I think it might be coming up in a second. So that makes sense. And you're saying that you find that you usually go too fast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think you're going too fast? Like, do you find your heartbeat speeds up, or like you get nervous, or what do you what do you think's going on?
Yeah, probably just like, yeah, maybe like a little desperation.
Okay. Interesting. I think so. I think that there is. So I think that right now, here's what I want to. I want to try something.
Okay.
How often would you say you play the ranked mode? Like, is ranked something that
Um,
you're comfortable with?
I honestly don't play it.
Okay. So how do you usually practice? Do you go on unranked?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, okay, we'll lean into that. So I'm going to give you my spectator code. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to I want us to try playing when you notice that you are entering that, like, when you have that feeling of desperation coming on, what I want from you is to take a deep breath and kind of remind yourself that you're learning, and that it is okay, like, that you're learning, like, what do you, like, give yourself a message, I guess, of like I want you to, like, take a deep breath and give yourself kind of like a supportive message to yourself, and then remind yourself that, you're still learning, and it's okay, like, you will get this, but it might take time. Something like that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yes, because I think that we need a way to, like, kind of recenter ourselves. Like, if you're getting desperate a lot, I think we need a way to recenter ourselves more than anything, because that's going to, like, help us practice more effectively in actual matches. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect. So I've passed you my spectator code. It's a bunch of, like, letters and numbers. Have you ever done spectator mode before?
No, but I'm looking at the spectate tab on Slippy.
Perfect.
Do I start broadcast?
Yep. Start broadcast, and then click confirm, and then start the game.
Okay.
Perfect.
You're able to see that, or do I need to start again?
No, you're good. You're good. Just go to unranked and, like, queue up a match, and we should be fine.
Okay. Just gonna turn my Slippy volume down so I can hear you.
Perfect.
Cool. I queued up.
Sounds good. Let me know when we're in a game.
Just got one.
Perfect. It should come through. Yep, we're fighting a falcon. Perfect. So, I'm noticing that, like, jump cancel grabs seem to be a bit of... jump cancel grabs also, I'm noticing, seem to be something that we struggle with somewhat.
Yeah, that's also one of those... Ooh, I shouldn't have smashed. It's like, I feel like I hit them in practice, like, all the time, but same thing, just, like...
So... when we miss the jump cancel grab, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say if we were too early or too late.
Okay.
Like, if we were, like, we're gonna, like, point out what was off with the timing, and then, like, move on from it. We're not gonna hold that in our mind. We're not gonna critique ourselves. We're just gonna say what happened.
Okay.
So that one was perfect. Beautiful.
Been trying to, like, incorporate runoff fares, but
No, that was that one was great. There was, like, a small thing that could have been better. Like, you could have, I would have fallen more. I would have falled a little bit so that your up B, like, gets into position better. But like more quickly. But, like, again, like, the fare itself was, like, perfect, and I just saw you do it there. Lovely.
oops.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I should have fast fell. I get to the ledge pretty slow.
So when he goes above us, if you're feeling up for it, let's do up airs.
Okay.
Up airs, or if he's in front of us, we'll do fares. That was great. You did the thing.
Oh.
Hell yeah! Ken combo. Let's go.
Oh no.
What? And what don't you know?
I was trying to remember to, like, DI.
You know
down
how
the
to DI. Okay, so what were you trying to DI?
road.
Like a Falcon combo?
Yeah, just like, oops, there's that
So we
too
probably
early
did, we
on
probably
the
did
dash.
like, yeah, we probably like dashed and jumped on the same, like dashed and jumped on the same frame. So then like the dash came out but not the jump. So we did the like we probably did the like everything a little too quickly. So remember, it's like
I,
1 2 3 1 2 3. Like for JC grabs, it's 1 2 3 1 2 3.
yeah, I feel like I'm like never slow. It's always too fast. Like
Agreed.
inputting on the same frame. And I've like looked back at using like uh I've looked back at like my inputs and it yeah, it's always like same frame.
Yeah. So like let's remember. So have you ever like thought? So what is? How do you know how long a frame takes? Like have you ever like built that muscle? Like kind of like looked at that?
I know like in theory it's like 16 milliseconds or
Yeah, but like have you
something.
ever felt the difference?
That's a great question.
There's a way
Uh,
you
yeah.
can do it. Like play this Falcon like maybe one more game, and then what I'll
Uh,
do is I'll have you hop into training mode for a second.
okay, he left.
Okay, let's hop into training mode for a second.
Uh,
Just the training mode in I'm sorry, in Slippy is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what I'll have you do is actually, can you go into versus mode? Like as if you were like kind of like go into like back out of the online stuff, and then it'll have like a bunch of menu options. Like it'll have like melee. We're gonna go in there, and then just pick any character, and then we're gonna go Marth,
Okay.
and we'll load up any map because I'll be able to see that. So
All right. I just started. Are you able to see it?
I don't see it yet, but yeah, just like, are you like in the versus mode, like the standard versus, like the
Yeah. Like a CPU.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I can't see it, but that's okay. Let me just hit refresh. Oh, it says that you're not broadcasting to me anymore.
Oh,
Are you in Uncle
okay.
Punch?
Nope.
Okay,
Oh, it did disconnect the broadcast. I don't know why.
yeah, that's
There, I
okay.
just started it again.
Perfect. Let me hit watch. And are you? And you're in the. You're in like the. You're in like a. Okay, perfect. I can see you. Phenomenal. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to wave dash into. I want you to wave dash with Marth. Like wave dash into a dash forward, or wave dash into some dash dances. Perfect. These look quite clean. Now here's what I'm gonna have you do, because I see I see that one like what that one wasn't right. I want you to then go Falco. Same, like we can go back to the same level. We're gonna go Falco, and I want you to do the same thing. Try to wave dash with him.
I know his jump squad is. You can see this, right?
Yep.
So his jump squad is 1 frame slower,
Yeah.
1 frame longer.
Yeah. So like, try to go at the Marth speed and see what happens. Right. You're full hopping now, or like jumping. So then you have to try to slow down by 1 frame, and like get us like try to slow down so that it comes through, and get a feel for how long that takes.
Hmm.
See what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Now,
interesting.
now we're gonna go Fox, and I want because this will be 1 frame faster. And same idea. We want to get these smooth. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Try to like get like working backwards. Try to like get a sense of like how much faster that is. You can probably go a little bit faster. Cool, huh?
Yeah,
Now
it
do
does
it.
feel like strange.
Yeah, now do it. So that unit of time is roughly how long, like how far apart the inputs on a dash JC grab can be. So try doing a dash JC grab. knowing that that amount of time, that difference, that one up, one down, is what separates them. Cool, huh?
Yeah. What does I just want to see what his running grab looks like. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's now go back into unranked with Marth now.
Okay.
Have it now that we've done that, because it'll be the same. Like, if you can do them with Fox, you can do them with Marth. Because Fox, like Marth, will just be one frame more lenient than Fox is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because of the jump squat duration.
You can see this?
Yep. We are good.
Oops.
Nice sweet spot. So, I think that for this one, let's just focus on like trying to use our jump cancel grabs to set up tech chases, like to set up juggles and tech chases. And we can also like rely, like we're not gonna like do, that's not the only thing that we're gonna do. Like we're still gonna play naturally, but that's just something we're gonna keep in mind. And the other thing I'll say is, yeah, I think that was a good grab attempt. I would say that you can grab from further away than you currently are in general.
Okay. I need to learn that timing. I think yeah.
Beautiful. That's good.
Oops.
Okay, so we call this out there.
That happens.
Yeah, exactly. So something that might help you is that, like, when it comes to using your grab, most L cancels in this game take 7 frames or more. Okay? So your grab comes out from when you do a jump cancel grab, when you press the when you press Z or Z, like it comes out in 7 frames from the point that you press Z, assuming that you did the JC correctly. So that means that you want to be like you want to time your grab for when they land, like you want to have the button pressed at the same time that they land, or you might have to do it slightly later, depending you might be able to do it slightly later, or have to do it earlier depending on the move. Like with Peach float cancels, you have to do it sooner.
Okay.
Because like they finish in 4. So if you wanted to get a true punish on them, if you want to like truly punish the end, like the landing lag, or if the opponent auto cancels, for example, like it has to be before versus later. But like That's mostly just to like meant to like help you get a sense of like depending on the it'll depend on the move, and there's like lots of resources that can tell you like whether like will tell you the L cancel time, right? So then you'll know like whether it's before or like earlier or sooner, but it's just to give you an idea of like when you're supposed to be like timing these hits.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll also give you a sense on like how you can like do your own aerials to like prevent them from being whiff punished, because like if you know that they have to time their like grab input or something for like when you land like to like at the same time that you land, well, if you land outside of their grab range and they have to move to get you, well, that's one way that you can protect yourself.
What would be the way to
Drift.
protect yourself?
Drift, okay. Like drift outside of their standing grab range, so they have to move and grab you in order to get you. Because if they have to move into your fair, then like they can't be there, right? There's a certain amount of distance they have to give you because of your disjoint. That's one of Marth's strengths as a character.
Okay, it's good to think about.
Yeah, like that just makes sense, right? Like they can't be where the sword is hitting them to like get a whiff punish unless they're crouch canceling or something, but then like that's not really a whiff punish, they're just like counter hitting, right?
Okay,
like that's a different thing that's happening, and you defend against it differently. Like you might do down air instead because that move is good versus crouch cancel. You might do like a wave land instead because they're like crouching, right? So they're not attacking you, so therefore you can like maybe move out of the way more. How do you feel about up throw?
Sorry, what was that about up throw?
How do you feel about up throw combos?
Oh, that's funny. He changed. Not comfortable with them.
Yeah.
But like if I'm playing a Marth that's better, they'll usually get like a up air off of it, and can usually like keep me in the air.
Okay, cool. So here's what I'm gonna challenge you to do. We're gonna use Nair, down tilt, F smash, dash attack, and grab more when the other Marth is below 30. And when the other Marth is above 30, we're gonna use grab and forward air more. Just like as a basic like, and we can also use F smash and up tilt. Like we can use other moves. Like these are just like we want to be using these moves more, but we don't want them to be like they don't have to be the only moves we're doing. But like we want to emphasize those moves more at those percents because that's when they're strong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So basically, fair like we'll do more fairs after 30. We'll do more down tilts nair and down tilts and nairs below 30.
Okay.
And when they're below 30.
Yep.
So how does this feel?
With the down tilts?
Yeah, down tilts and nairs like in this early game position. Like how does this feel by comparison?
I feel like oh no. Yeah,
good,
it feels
though.
like less committal.
Yeah. Well, because we can't get which makes sense, I think, because we can't get as much. Like, why do you think I'm suggesting we be less committal early?
Just because I don't know, like, can't really get a good follow up.
Right.
Off.
Yeah. Exactly.
You just want to build some percentage.
Yeah, like if we can't get a good combo off of our fair anyway, why does it make sense to risk things on a move that like requires more from us, right?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
I would say that general principle works in basically all of his matchups. Like, the idea that we wait a little bit before we start fairing, I think is a very good rule of thumb in most of his matchups. And as you get better at tipping the fairs, like, you can start to be a little bit more, like, liberal with it. Like, you can go, like, you don't have to, like, it's not really, like, 30, it's really, like, 20 when you get more used to it.
Okay.
Because, like, his tipped fair knocks people down at, like, 17, 18. But, like, you know, like, I think that would be that's a little bit, like, high precision for like, you know, somebody who started in October. Like, at least at this point. Like, I think that as you get more comfortable, definitely, like, push the envelope more towards 20. But, like, for a starting point, I think this makes sense.
Okay. Sorry, did you say what percentage? Like,
I'd say that, like, as you get better at tipping your aerials, you can start to like bring the forward air percent more towards from 30 to 20.
okay.
And like this is versus like the light characters like Marth, Sheik, Falco, Fox, Jigglypuff. Like this is more versus them against heavier characters like Captain Falcon and like Ganon and Donkey Kong. You'll probably want to like add like 5-ish%, 4-ish%, 3-ish%. You know what I mean? Like adjust to taste basically. But
Okay.
yeah. Think that after we play maybe so, and the big thing here is remember we want to be like just like let's also make sure we're focusing on with our JC grabs like whether we're doing them too early or too late. But I think that you are actually hitting them more accurately in these games.
Okay, that's good.
Like, does it feel like you are? Does it feel like you are?
Yeah, I feel like more conscious about them, and that's like helping.
Yeah. And I bet, like, having, like, I think that, like, I truly think that, like, especially as a new player, when you internalize a bit of, like, what a frame feels like, and what it, like, how much time it actually occupies, not in, like, in an academic sense, not in, like, it's a 60th of a second, but, like, in a way that your hands can actually connect with them and feel it somewhat, I really do think that makes a difference, because it's, like, you know, we're always told, like, a frame is the smallest unit of time that this game runs on, which is true, but, like, how long is that really?
Yeah.
Like, we need a way to, like, convey that information to our hands in a way that they can use. And, like, I find that, like, going up or down one character, like, one jump squat timing with wave dashes is a really good way of doing it in general because it kind of, like, gets us into the idea of, like, how long does this take?
Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. And, like, I have, like, a background in music, so I kind of have, like, some sense of, like, rhythm. Is like something that you don't really hear. It's more like something that your like muscles or your muscle memory is. I don't know what I'm trying to articulate, but
it's like there you need to be able to feel it on some level.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree completely. Because I can see that I can see you're more accurate. Let me ask you a question. How do you do your what's your understanding of how you do your L cancels? Like, what do you, like when you do your L cancels? Because that's going to be a big thing with tech chasing in general. How do you usually go about doing them? And do you know how to fast fall? I think you do, but like I just want to confirm.
What do you mean exactly by how I do my L cancels?
Like when do you when do you time them?
Usually I think. I don't know. I've been working on it. I think I usually do it after fast falling.
Okay.
It's like fast fall and then input the L cancel maybe like 2 or 3 frames after.
Okay. Something you can do to make life easier on yourself is when you hit somebody well on your way down, you can input the L cancel during the hit lag frames.
Right.
And then if you fast fall, then you should basically always get it if you are hitting the aerial while falling.
Right, because it like buffers the L cancel during hit lag.
Yes. So like, so as an example, like Marth hit. Let me just grab Marth hitboxes in frame data. I'm pretty sure that like his jump timing is such. I'm just looking this up real quick to make sure I'm not giving you. Yeah, so his his short hop fast fall air time is 26 frames. And his earliest fast fall is on frame 20. So assuming you're already falling, like that's a 7-frame window. Assuming that you're already falling and you hit them while you're falling, yeah, if you do the, like, while you're fast falling, if you do the L cancel on the frame that you hit them, like, or any of the hit lag frames, it should just always work. Because there's only 7 frames of total, like, from when you input the fast fall, there's only ever 7 frames of, like, fall time with Marth's shuffle, like, short up fast falls. So, yeah, it should basically always work.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. So with that in mind, I'm thinking that it makes sense. You mentioned that tech chasing is something you wanted to look at. Do you want to do you want to deviate from matches for a moment so that we could look at that together?
Yeah, sure. And like I guess my sort of like higher level question about that is like at like my particular skill level, it's like I feel like reaction tech chasing is something that really only pays off once you're really good at it, but my understanding could be incorrect. So it's like, would it be better at this point to invest time in like other areas that will pay off like sooner?
Well, I'd say that, like, again, tech chasing, there's a lot of ways to get things out of it. So you can see my screen right now, right?
Yeah, but I don't see anything on it.
Okay, so, okay, are you on, like, so where are you right now? Are you on Discord, or?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. I do see it. Yeah, I'm just a Discord noob. I see it now.
Okay, cool. So what I would say here is, I would say, like, a generally useful thing here is combo training, because it allows you, like, a lot of control over, like, the positions that you do things in. So, as an example, like, I would set the opponent, I would get used to setting the opponent to no DI, because no DI, like, I find that DI is a big thing that, like, messes us up. Like, it adds a lot of variation to learning the tech chase that is difficult to work with, especially as somebody new. I think that, like, for that reason, the other thing I'd say is, like, controlling what tech they're doing is also, like, a good starting point. Because, like, as you can see here, we can practice it, like, doing this forward throw tech chase, and, like, confirming that we got, like, the fault, like, that we actually hit the react, like, that we actually hit them during the vulnerability window. See what I mean? Like, if I do it too early, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So this is, like, the first thing I would say is just, like, get this stuff like this down so you get a feel for how, like, for where the window is for these different timings. Like, for these different options. So, like, here we walk forward to, like, the same spot. Like, kind of like what Wizrobe is doing. You're noticing how I'm always walking to the same spot here, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that would be, like, the first thing. Because even on Tekken, like, it's the same thing. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, from here, as we get used to doing this, then once you're comfortable with this, that's when you can start randomizing. So you see what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not, like, great at the Marth one. I don't really play Marth all that often, but, like, you can see, like, there's still, like, a kind of a benefit to, like, doing it this way. Because it's, like, it controls some of the variables that, like, mess people up when they're, like, learning this. Yeah. So it's just, like, it's just kind of, like, it takes some control of, like, some of the things that can go wrong. And then, like, allows you, like, a bit of, like, a sandbox to, like, practice, like, some basic setups in. As you fight more advanced opponents, you'll probably want to, like, learn how to do the things, like, with, like, the things involving wave dash, like that, but you're not really required to do them quite yet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, I think that against, like, a lot of people, like, just like doing, like, a simple walk setup will work for, like, against a lot of DIs, especially if you're thrown quickly.
Okay.
That said, if you do want to, like, learn the wave dash stuff, that can be useful for later. But I think at the level you're playing at, like, starting with something simple like that and then, like, working your way up makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have, like, there's, like, a pipsqueak video on reaction tech chasing that I watched. It talks about, like, sort of the stuff you're talking about, and also I've, like, practiced it a bit, but, like, if I ever try to do it in games, I pretty much just get, like, shined.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think happens there?
Uh, it's just like the tech in place is. I feel like I think it's like part reaction, not reacting quick enough, and then also what you're talking about of like I'm not like wave dashing fast enough at a forward throw.
So I would say that these two are on screen displays. Um, like here, let's do trajectory GI none. We'll do this, and we'll set his percent to 10. So like with this OSD like act out of lag, it's giving me information on like when I'm acting relative to like when I'm acting relative to when I can act. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I would say that this is a good starting point here, because this will this will allow you to know like internalize the timing on this action, on this follow through. Because he's even like, yeah, it just gives you useful information. And I'd also say the wave dash info also helps here, because like it tells you how good your wave dash was. So like if my wave dash is like that, it's like this, right? I'm obviously gonna it's very likely I'm gonna miss that, because even if I'm acting quickly out of my weight, if my wave dash is really laggy, right? You know, that's gonna mess me up. So you want to it kind of gives you a way to evaluate like both things that can go wrong, like both sources of error basically in the setup.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think that this is the type of thing that might be useful to you, or do you think that this is like still a little too far ahead for you?
Yeah. No, this is useful, and like I've done a bit of this.
Okay,
yeah,
but what
it's like
yeah,
not
go
to
ahead.
the point where I feel comfortable like trying to do it in game.
Gotcha. So maybe we need to build more confidence with it first. That's totally reasonable, to be clear. Like, especially if you're if you're not at the point where you're prepared to take the technique into your matches, like that is a place that we can be at in our development. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, like, and even you see, like, I'll probably miss some of these, because, like, even though I haven't been playing a while, like, this is a character I don't really play all that much, so, you know, it takes, like, this game is a high execution game.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm missing these. But, like, again, like, I'm also hitting some of them, so it's just, like, where you are, like, the point at which you're ready to try this stuff in matches, I'd say a good place to aim for is that in practice, you don't have to think about it. Okay. Like, you don't have to think about the action you're doing. Like, you can just kind of, like, look at the screen and do it to some degree. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I would say that, like, if you have to think about it, that's gonna get in the way of you, like, doing everything else when you're playing. Like, when you're fighting an actual opponent.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm, like, not even at that point with, like, anything, really. Like, even, like, trying to play and listen to what you're saying, I found, like, a little difficult. I think I'm just, like, still have to think about a lot of things.
Yeah, so what are some things that you still have to think about?
I don't know, just, like... Yeah, I don't know. I think I really have no idea what to do in neutral. I just sort of throw things out. Not to derail reaction tech chasing. This is good, and I want to work on it.
Yeah, but like you can have other goals, and there's nothing wrong with that. So like,
true.
Yeah. So like, what in neutral? What do you think? Like, what would you say are some things that like about neutral that don't make sense to you right
now? I feel like threat ranges. It's like I don't know how close to play to people. I feel like I play really far away because I'm like afraid if I in too close, then yeah, just like gonna get hit or something, or it's just like random at that point.
Okay, so let's consult. While I could show you, I think that it's probably best if we have like a professional, like, you know, an active professional, like give us a demonstration. Let me pull up a Zane match, and we can take a look at that together. What characters would you say are like the ones that you find yourself like least confident in, or do you find it's just kind of across the board?
Like probably the worst would be Falcon. Because he's just like really fast.
Ooh, okay. Falcon's a good one. This is good. So let's take a look at let's take a look at this match. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see what I see.
Yep, I can see.
Perfect. So we're going to look at Zane versus Wizrobe. Because I feel like these two are... They're kind of the gold standard, I think, when it comes to like this matchup. So, let's just mute this. So, this spacing here that Zane just takes is, I think, the gold standard of Marth Falcon. So it's right about here. Why do you think I like this spacing so much? If you had to take a wild guess.
Like as
Marth. Yeah. I think this is like basically the ideal distance for these two characters.
I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well.
Down tilts.
So
kind of yeah.
So I'll explain. Don't worry. This is kind of like standard. This is kind of Falcon 101. So Falcon is kind of weird as a character in that he actually operates very similar to a Wave Dash character. In that he has this powerful like range around him. Like Falcon's range kind of goes from here to about here for his like Nair. For like his Nair in place. Would you agree with that? Like if he just jumps up with Nair or up air, like this is about the space he covers.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. So, if he wants to hit Zane because he's over here, then what does he have to do?
Dash.
Okay, but his dash jump is like if he wants to dash jump, he goes kind of far, doesn't he? Like he doesn't stop here. He goes all the way over here, right?
Right.
So, he'd have to like dash jump and then pull back or something. And even then he might that's going to be like really awkward because he's going to travel kind of like this sort of.
Okay.
Like his jump wants to do this, but like Zane is kind of close to that. So if Zane just puts out attacks in this spot, like he's going to be able to cut through them with his like sword, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if Falcon jumps up in place with his legs here, and Zane swings out with his sword here, like with his fair or nair, Zane is expected to win these. So this is part of why this spacing is so good. Because for Falcon to hit him, he has to like jump in place and then drift all the way forward to hit him. Or he has to like shoot, or he has to back up somehow, so then that his like long approach works. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything he does has wind up. Because he has to like either get to the peak of his jump on the short hop, like short hop plus fall forward. Like, that's one way he can do it. Or, back up, and dash jump forward. So, like, these are his ways of doing his aerials against him. And neither of them, like, they both have, like, a first step. The backing up or the short hop and fall forward. And, like, fall full forward, really. Because that's, like, the problem. The other thing he can do is dash, jump, cancel, grab. Because, like, this is about, like, we can see that this... Well, I'll make a different color. We can see that, like, from here to here is about where his dash, jump, cancel, grab is going to go, right?
Yeah.
But if Zane is doing attacks, then that is not going to be very effective, will it?
If Wizzy's doing attacks?
Sorry, if Zane is doing attacks against Wizrobe here, and Wizrobe tries to run forward and grab Zane... If Zane is swinging with his sword, dash JC grab is not going to be terribly effective, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the problem here, so this is why this spacing is good. Because Zane can just swing, and it's good against all of Wizzy's direct actions. Wizzy has to bait him here. He doesn't have an alternative. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. He has, like, limited options.
Right, because Zane is going to trump his moves based on that. This is also generally a good spot to be in versus... This is generally a good distance to be in versus a lot of characters, to be honest. Like, this kind of spacing where they're, like... Where... Like, this would be good versus Fox, believe it or not. This would also be... Like, do you see what I mean? Like, they're not quite close... Like, we're able to bait their in-play stuff with and, like, beat it out with our... Like, it's basically what makes this spot good. What makes this spot good, like, I've sent you the image, so don't worry, you're not going to lose anything here. But, like, basically what makes this spot good is that there's kind of a line here that divides the characters between where Falcon can do his moves and Marth can do his moves. And because both characters are, like, basically within range of this line, like, Marth's fair and stuff hits out to about here, Falcon's legs hit out to about here. But because Marth is disjointed, right, Marth wins these exchanges if these two hitboxes, if his hitbox collides with the opponent's hurt box. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So because Marth is expected to win all the ties here, like ties go to Marth. Because if, like, basically if we treat, like, if we treat attacking, like, at the same moment as, like, a tie, ties goes to Marth. Because, like, Marth is using a sword and he is not. So in order for Falcon to operate, for Marth's opponent to operate around him here, they have to, like, somehow, like, bait him. Like, they have to advance, dash in, and, like, do something like this. And then punish him after. But because of that, like, there is pressure on this person to, like, to outplay Marth. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And this range, where this line is, will vary from character to character. Because, like, they don't all have Falcon's legs. Sometimes, like, depending on the character, this line could move further back. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
And in that case, Marth wouldn't be here, Marth would be, like, here. Is this starting to make more sense?
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so, like, the line and Marth can move, Marth can move.
Are you usually thinking for, like, the opponent's line, are you thinking in terms of, like, their furthest hitbox?
Yeah.
Like Falcon Snare. Okay.
It's like their furthest in place option. Depending on the character, like if it's Fox, we might still use a further out line because Fox also is very fast and his attacks come at us very quickly. So because of that, we might use a more, like, because he advances naturally when he attacks us, him and Pikachu, we might be further back because of how they work as characters. But if the opponent is, like, say, Mario, we might be, like, the line will be closer. Do you see the distinction?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
So it's kind of like the line is safe slash, because it's not really safe, but, like, low commit poke. Low commit move, like, poke. Plus Marth tip fair. Because it would be ours too. Does this make sense?
Yeah. So, okay, I've never thought of fair as, like, this sort of aerial equivalent of down tilt.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Okay, amazing. So we have about a minute left. So I just want to kind of, like, recap, like, what we've learned here today. And kind of get your thoughts about, like, what we've kind of, like, what like, I want to get your take, like, your impression about, like, what we've learned, what are your takeaways, like, what are some actionables that you have going forward. So I will help you with these, but I do want to get your input first. What's something that you've learned today that you're, excited to work on, or, like, that you think that will be beneficial for you to work on going forward?
I guess the two main things would be, like, reaction deck chasing and also just the spacing sort of line we just talked about.
So okay, perfect. So reaction tech chasing. So building the execution in blocks or pieces. I think that's really important so that we can have a good movement setup into the spot we tech chase from. Plus, that allows us to react to the options. And then the next one is, spacing. Like neutral spacing. Like setting up Marth to be able to setting up Marth to be able to threaten his fare versus enemy pokes, using the diagrams, using the reference point, and the points provided above. Amazing. One other thing I would say here is, let me think here. What else did we go over? Percents matter. So like 0 to 30, bracket to start. Focusing and placing emphasis on nair, detilt, and grab in grab, and using fair more often at 30% plus, bracket as you get comfortable tipping fair, can bring the starting percent closer to 20. Note, percents are rough estimates but may need to be adjusted based on character weight. And the last thing is internal execution troubleshooting. No troubleshooting. Being mindful of when we are acting too early / too late, and adjusting accordingly. Remember how long air quotes a frame is to help troubleshoot. Because it's longer. I think that one thing we took away is that it's longer than we thought.
Yeah, it's more noticeable.
Yeah. So I do have someone at 9, so I can't stay for long. But overall, how do you feel? Do you mind if I ask how you felt this went? Do you think that this was do you have any feedback for me, basically?
I thought it was great, and it's cool that there's some actionable stuff, and also thanks for just being nice to a new.
Oh my god, we're so mean to new players. We need it. Oh my god. So you're very welcome. This was delightful, and if you ever want to do this again, I'm happy to have you. Aside from that, I hope that if you have any follow-up questions about the concepts we went over today, please let me know. I'm happy to answer questions as long as they're related to this material, because I do want to make sure that you get this stuff. You know what I mean? So aside from that, I sadly can't stay any longer, but take care, and maybe I see you again, maybe not. Either way, welcome to Melee, and I hope you have a great time on your journey, okay?
Cool, thank you very much.
No problem. Bye!